Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Medeek BIM tutorial series. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today we're going to be actually doing yet another garage. I have this particular garage plan that I designed about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was, and it's a rather small garage, pretty simple in design. It's basically a box with a roof on it if you really want to get down to it, but yeah, I just want to go ahead and take this one from top to bottom. It might take an hour or so. I'm not quite sure how long it's going to take me. I haven't really spent a lot of time, preparing as far as kind of laying out what I'm going to do, but I kind of have some general ideas in hand. And I also wanted just to briefly note that this video is sponsored by the Electrical Training Alliance, and so I'll go ahead and show their webpage here. And I'm hoping that this tutorial that I make will not only help some of their students, but help a lot of you as well. So let's jump into it here. I'm just going to go ahead and close this out. I've gone ahead and downloaded the PDF sheets of all of this. And first off, I'm just going to start with the elevations here, and just to show you kind of what we're dealing with. So bring those into view here. And what we've got is a simple gable roof with a 12-foot wall, a couple garage doors in front, a man door on the side, and we don't show a window, but I think I'm going to throw a window on the one wall, just to add a little more interest into the design. Maybe on this wall right here, on the opposite wall of the door. Pretty basic foundation, slab on grade. It's 4-inch monolith poured thickened edge concrete slab with some wire mesh reinforcement. You can kind of get an idea what I'm dealing with here. I'm just going to kind of let the plug-in space out these anchor bolts. It's 6 foot on center, and then we'll have to adjust them a little bit here for the doors. But that's we'll let the plug-in do its thing, the foundation plug-in that is. So yeah, we'll dive into this here, and then I just wanted to show you one other sheet. Let's bring up our floor plan here, just so we have that to take a quick peek at. So, yeah, it's a 28-foot by 26-foot outline. Like I said, it's got the door here on the one side, and then we'll go ahead and put a window on maybe on the opposite wall, right kind of in the center of the wall. 2 10 by 10 overhead garage doors. And spaced accordingly, 9 foot, 12 and 7 there in the front. We're going to have one little kind of shear panel in the front. I haven't really stipulated an actual shear wall, but I did call out a couple Holddowns in the original design, and I actually didn't call out any more Holddowns in the design because based on the site it didn't require them. But I think what we're going to do is we'll probably also drop a couple HDU2 Holddowns on each of those far corners as well. So yeah, it's basic design, but I think if we walk through this, we'll kind of get an idea of what we need to do. And I might take a little intermission along the way, just to take a little break, and I'll just pause my recording, then I'll start right back up into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at SketchUp now. So with SketchUp, I've just quickly made this little layout kind of the outline. So let's go ahead and start with our foundation. So we're going to do a slab on grade, and we'll use the polygon tool only because I just want to demonstrate that. So we'll hit OK. We'll start at this corner, and we'll just stretch out, wrap ourselves around. And we just got to get ourselves back to the start point. And right there, okay. And then once you hit the start point, of course, it recognizes that you've closed the path, and it will then prompt you for everything else. Okay, so 18 inches on the depth. I think that's what we had on that cross section, and I think it was also a 12-inch width on the footing. Yes, curb width. No, there's no curves. Reinforcement. Yes. Anchor bolts. Yes. We did show a drain pipe, didn't we? Let me see. Go back to my elevation view. I think it was. Yeah, so we showed a 4-inch drain pipe, so we'll throw that in there. We could always do that later and edit the thing, but let's just go ahead anyways and see what we get. And then we'll hit OK. Top bar, I think we had 2 and 2, but I could be wrong. Well, actually, the footing shows 2 bars, probably in the front, maybe 1 bar on the other side. But I think we'll just go with 2 bars all the way around. So let's go with 2 bars and then top 2 bars bottom. And then let's change this to, you know what? I'm going to go with 3-inch number 3 bar, a 24-inch on center instead of the mesh. And then hit OK on that. And then anchor bolt, 6 foot on center. That's correct. And then the pipe diameter, that's fine. Just leave that as default. And let it do its thing. Okay, so there's our slab. And just to demonstrate, let's change that opacity a little bit just so we can see what's going on inside that foundation. So I'm going to just leave that like that for now. And when I finish up this video, I'm going to post this video on the warehouse so everybody can download it, or I mean the model, sorry, and post the video on YouTube as well. But that way, you know, you can have access at it and take a look at things. But I will probably return these opacities of these textures to regular so that it just looks normal. Anyways, yeah, so we've got 2 bars on top, 2 bars on bottom. We've got ourselves a grid of rebar, and that looks good. Okay, and then we're going to have to probably modify the spacing of these anchor bolts as we go along here. As we can see, we can see that, you know, we've got some doors and we've got to move things, shuffle things around a little bit, but we'll get to that. So that's our foundation. Okay, so let's go to the walls next. So I'm going to just bring up the wall tool, and just a regular interior exterior wall. The wall height in this case is 12 feet, so it's 144 inches. And 2x6 walls, stud spacing's fine, top plate thickness fine, stud top, you know, everything, well, pretty much everything default. California corners are fine. And we're going to go with that booth blue, I guess. That's fine. Okay, so we just hit update on that. Now, I'm going to start at this corner and not that other corner. And the reason is because the way I want this to frame out is, let's show up the structural drawing here real quick. So on one of these sheets, it shows the front face of the building with kind of a structural drawing. And you'll notice the way the wall's framed out. So we got what's called an outside inset corner on the side walls. And I can't remember if you need to start on this corner or the other, but we'll just go with it here. Actually, I'm gonna, before I do that, I'm gonna just hide this. I don't need this right now. Okay, and then and actually we don't even need the grid, but we'll leave the grid for now. Okay, so let's go back to our wall tool. And sorry, we have to put that back in there. Okay, so we just start at the corner. And we start wrapping our way around. Pretty basic here. And then as we get to the end, we just hit our space bar. That jumps us out of the tool. Okay, and it looks like we did the right direction because you can see with the way this laps, that means that this one is not, this is the outside corner, this is the inset outside corner. And just to verify that, we will turn off the cladding. Right now, wall cladding. And you notice all these layers here. We've got layers being created automatically by the plugin. And of course, that's controlled within the global settings of the plugin, if any of you are not aware of that yet. So yeah, it's quite tall walls. You know, 12-foot walls are pretty substantial. So it's actually a pretty good sized garage. And let's turn off the sheathing and the gypsum for now. We don't need those on. Wall sheathing. Okay, so as you can see, we've got pretty big walls. blocking wise, yeah, I'm thinking, probably want a little more blocking there. We've got blocking set showing on this one view here. I think we have it set at like 6 foot, but I think it might be useful to set that. I mean, in this particular case, you'd probably run, you know, a sheet of plywood. You could run them vertically and then run, 8 foot spans and then a 4 foot section. But yeah, I don't know. It just whatever. Let's go ahead and just edit this wall assembly real quick. And we're going to change the blocking to 48. And then let's do 2 rows of blocking. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I think I like that a little better. Okay, so we could do that. Go around each one and edit, or we can just use the wall copy tool. So I'm going to use the wall copy tool. I'm going to grab this one, go down here, turn on the blocking height, or no, actually turn on the blocking row spacing and blocking rows. Hit update on that. Okay, so now what's going to happen is when I click on any other wall, it's going to change just these 2 parameters, or should change just those 2 parameters. And it looks like we are doing what it should do. Okay, well, excellent. Okay, so we'll close that out. So now we've got ourselves 4 walls. Okay, so let's go back here and just look at this elevation one more time. Make sure we're getting kind of where we want. Okay, so now I guess we can start dropping doors and windows into it. Let's start with the man door, and we'll unhide. Let's unhide our little layout here. It shows on the floor plan. I think it shows on the floor plan that the man door was positioned 5'6" from the corner. Yeah. I mean, I could do that, I suppose. But I think I'm just going to put it at 6 feet. I don't think it really matters that much. So we'll just do that. Okay, so let's grab a door here. And let's change our door header. The door headers too, I noticed when I originally drew this plan, were kind of a foam insulated type of dealio. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to go with a maybe just a couple. I don't know. Let's do a 2x6 filled 3-ply header. How's that sound? And I mean, it's probably overkill, but I don't know. We'll just go with that. And then, yeah, well, let's just create the door and then we can always change it up. Anyways, all the options are turned on, the install door, the exterior trim, and the interior casing. So when we mouse over this door, it should create what we want. Okay, so the door opens the wrong way. That's fine. We'll just edit the door and change it from a left hand to a right hand in. Okay. And also I noticed on the elevation view we showed a deadbolt. So in that case we can change up our door hardware style. I think style 2 includes a deadbolt. Oh no, that's the little other style here. Let's go to style 3. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's our man door. We could change up the case, trim, etc. Let's see here. What do we got? Okay, so I don't like that trim. Let's just go with something a little more basic. Yeah, I have it overshooting on the trim there. So down here you can see you can change the header width of the trim to whatever. And then you can change the header extension down here to 0. So we'll go ahead and do that. Hit update. And now a little more basic standard type of trim. Okay. Yeah, so back to the header real quick. It's a triple 2x6 header. Let's turn off the wall casing for just a second here so we can take a look at that. Or wall trim, it doesn't really matter. Where is the wall trim? There's a lot of layers. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got a 2x6 triple header. Yeah, that should suffice. Now notice how this anchor bolt is in the way. We'll deal with that once we get all the doors in, then we'll work on that. Okay, so let's go over here now real quick, and let's throw a window in. We don't have a window on the original plan, on the original elevation views either. I just thought, for interest, we might as well throw a window in. I don't think it'll hurt. So let's get a 36, 48 inch high. Let's say a, I don't know. We could have a couple windows actually. Maybe we'll do a couple windows. Maybe that'll look better. I don't know. It's kind of boring not to have some windows. So yeah. Anyways, let's go with the same headers as the other one there. Let's go with the filled ply header, and let's try a couple of these 36-inch windows. That looks about right. And you can see here as you mouse over the wall, it's giving you the distance from the end, as well as, you can't see it very well, but it's giving you 8 feet from the end, 18 feet from the other end. So it's kind of giving you that both. I have both of those dimensions turned on. Yeah, I don't know. 7 looks kind of, I don't know. It's hard to say. We can always move it. So I'm going to drop one here, and I'm going to drop another window right here. I don't know. I think it looks a little funny myself. So I'm going to put this one at 7, and then I'm just going to use the move window tool here, or move opening, and shift this over just about a foot. So now it's 7 feet from the end of the wall. Okay. So yeah, I think that looks great. I think that looks pretty good. So 2 basic windows. Maybe we want those to open or something. So let's change those up as well. I think right now we have them set as a picture window. Let's turn them into a single hung window, and I don't know. And I like the fact too that we can put a manufacturer's label on it, just to so we know what we've got here. And I'm just gonna hit update on that. Okay, and I'm gonna come over here and do the same for this window, and change it to a single hung window, and then turn on the manufacturer label. And notice I have quite a few manufacturers. You can even put a manufacturer's serial number in there, or series number, sorry, or well, not series number, but different series. Some of them have numbers. Anyways, it's just whatever you want, but I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. I think that's a little bit overkill. Okay, so we got our windows, we got our doors. We need to put the garage doors in next. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break here. I've been talking quite a bit. I probably need a drink of water. So what I can do is, I can pause the video. Okay, so we're back. Before I get into making the next the garage doors, I want to show you guys how to create a custom header. So notice that we use that triple ply 2x6 header over the windows and the doors. Well, I want to do a triple ply 2x12 header, and I currently actually don't have that created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through that. So if we go to the global settings of the plugin, and then we click this little arrow to get to the second page, we can go to the headers, and the headers library allows us to create or delete or modify any of our headers that we have available to us. So similar to this last one listed here, which is a 2x6 header, I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to drop this description in there, and I'm just going to change this to 2x12. And the dimension for the depth is 11¼ inches. The thickness is 1.5, and it's going to be a triple ply header. And we just hit add header. Okay, so now you notice we have the 2x12, and you'll notice here, as I've described in another tutorial video, that you have this specific keyword combination. And what this basically tells the plugin is that it's going to be a filled header or spaced header with plywood, and the thickness of that plywood is a 1/2 inch thick. Okay, so that will help, well, not help, it'll actually instruct the plugin to generate the header exactly like that. And the triple ply, this variable right here, this one actually doesn't, where we have brackets 3, 2, that actually doesn't do anything. That's just kind of for our own reference, so we know it's a triple ply header. But this 3, that tells us, triple ply, that will tell us that we have a triple ply header. And of course the material we chose just regular lumber. So let's go ahead and jump out of that now. Okay, so let's go ahead and try creating a garage door. So basic garage door, we're going to do 10 feet, which is 120 inches, 120 inches high. And again, here at this stage, we select that special header we created, and right here we've got it. Okay, and then I noticed on the framing, let's go back to that really quick here. On the framing plan, we showed like a double king stud and a double trimmer. Okay, so we can do that. So we're going to go ahead with our double king stud and double trimmer. Hit update. And end cripple studs, sure, we can turn that on. And we do show jam and head studs, but let's just leave those for now. It's not a portal frame. We have exterior trim, exterior casing, or interior casing turned on. Pretty much everything's turned on. We'll just leave everything default for now, and we'll see kind of what we get. So we'll hit update one more time just to make sure we got that, and we show our door. So I'm going to position this one at that point, the 9-foot point, and I'm going to position this one at the 7-foot point. And let's just double check to make sure that those two doors are where I think they're supposed to be. I mean, I already made these little points, but I just want to triple check that. So let's go back to our floor plan. And yes, 7 feet off the corner, 12 feet apart, 9 feet. Okay, so I think we've nailed it. And instead of 2 2x12s, we've got 3 2x12s, a little beefier, but I don't think that's going to hurt us at all. And you notice that the door, looks a little different than the elevation views because actually it is a little bit bigger. I think in the elevation views it showed 5 panels, and this one we've got 6 panels. If you remember this view right here. And that's fine. We'll go with that. Let's do one other thing here. Let's turn on that wall trim just so we can see what we got there. Okay, yeah. So we wanted to change that up just a little bit and maybe turn on the door handles while we're at it. So I'm going to click Edit Opening. I'm going to come down here to the, I don't know why these numbers are so crazy, but they are. I think I set this up for a metric system at some point. So, anyways, it's roughly roughly there. Anyways, we'll change this up. It won't take me a second. Okay, so header thickness 0.75, header extension 0, door reveal 0.25. Okay, that's better. And then the door casing option, you can see that they were metric approximations because I had run some metric stuff in here before. But yeah, we're not doing metric today. All right, I think we fixed that for the most part. Well, no, one more thing here. That's fine. The jam thickness, just leave that as is. Okay, so also in the structural view, we showed we had a top and bottom above that that header. Let's see if we have that option available to us. I don't remember the built-up header thing, right? I can't remember if I added that in or not. I don't think I did. So we'll just go with the default here for now. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and fix the other door dimensions as well. I'm just going to pause you for just a second and we'll jump back in. Okay, and so we're back. I just want to turn off the wall trim for a second now because we're going to go ahead and add this shear wall panel. So there are a couple ways we can do this. I do have the ability just to add hold downs at the end of the walls, but I do want to actually try to use the shear wall module as it's constructed, and so then I'm going to try to demonstrate that. So I'm going to go here and click the draw shear wall, and I've already kind of set it up. We're going to use triple 2x6 posts, just like it's shown in the plan, and HDU2s with SSTB16s. These are all Simpson products, and both sides. And then let's see here. We'll just leave the. I've got blocking set up, a double 2x blocking, so it's basically actually two 2x6s nailed together and then positioned at the seam. Where the plywood or the sheathing is, and they're in line, and we're going to run a row at 48 and one at 96, just like shown here, but on the shear wall. So let's go ahead and hit update on that. And then to do a shear wall, you just go ahead and mouse over the wall you want to place the shear wall at. We're going to start right at the corner, and then we're going to run actually to this this right here at this point, a third stud in. And you can see that we've got our shear wall. Now, really, the sheathing of the wall itself can provide this shear wall material, and that's why I show it kind of as a, like I said, as a kind of a transparent sort of little overlay. But it just basically all it helps you do is say, okay, this section of plywood has to be nailed off at a much stricter. Aggressive nailing pattern, I guess, is the best word. For instance, maybe it's got to be nailed off at 4 inches along the edge, and then 12 inches on center in the center. Anyways, the other thing I noted too is that the 2x blocking, when you have a doubled up, it shows as one solid block. I may change that up eventually so that it shows as two blocks, because that's really what it is. But for now, that's what's shown. Notice that your hold downs are shown on the top view of the wall, similar to kind of how your doors and stuff are shown. And you also have this down here showing that that's a shear wall. So we've got our hold downs, we've got that. We may want to move that anchor bolt, and we are going to want to move that anchor bolt as well. So yeah, we'll get to that. The other thing I wanted to say too is that one of the things I would typically add in is basically some hold downs, strap hold downs generally right at these doors where there's not really any shear walls there. But I don't really have a system for doing that right yet where you can just add in hold downs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually manually add those in and then make them to what I call a custom object within the wall. And that way, when the wall gets regenerated, it does not delete those hold downs. So we'll show you how that can be done. The other thing too is at this corner of the wall, I kind of want to strengthen things up a little bit on this garage because it is pretty tall and big. So I think what we'll do is we'll edit that wall, and let's change this to a triple stud on the corner. Edit wall assembly, and then it's just on the end wall condition here really we're looking at. I think is what we want to try to do. Okay. And so now we got ourselves a triple stud. And this wall, of course, we don't need that, but let's go over to our other wall here, and we'll edit that and bump that up to also corner studs, triple studs. And while we're at it, we're going to see if we can't add some hold downs there as well. So if we go down here, the general wall features, we have the hold down option. Well, if we turn that on, we can change that to a couple HDU2s, STP16, and then hold down locations both, yes. And then hit update on that, and let's see what we get. Okay, so that looks good. Notice we've got ourselves hold downs. Of course, you got that piece framed in there. You'd have to probably notch that out, but that's just framing details. Okay, and notice you got hold downs now shown there. So this is technically not a shear wall. It's got enough, I guess what I'm going to say, there's enough shear strength in this entire sheathed wall that you don't really need to call that a shear wall and nail it off with any special nailing pattern, just the standard one you would normally use. But I do like to put hold downs at the corners. Okay, so now we've got this issue where I would like to place hold downs at the corners and of each of these doors. So what I'm going to do that is I am going to use an in-wall column, and I'm actually going to delete the column eventually, but before I do that, I'm going to turn on the hold down option, and I'm going to run with a one of these STHD 14s, I think. Well, it could be a 10, I suppose. Let's go with 14. And of course, we don't need to worry about any of this. Is it on the framing? Sure, that works. And let's hit update on that. So what this is going to do, it's going to give me a column initially. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to jump into this wall, and I'm going to grab this little guy out. I think that yeah, let's grab that. Okay, and then I'm going to cut. Then I'm going to jump back out, and I'm going to jump back in really quick here. And I'm going to paste in place. Okay, and then I'm going to call this these two items. Well, actually, I'm going to group them. Make a group out of it. Oh, not a component, sorry. Make group. Okay, and then I'm going to scroll back up here, and I'm going to call this custom hold down. Let's call it 1 for lack of a better word. Okay, and then I'm going to jump out, and now I'm going to take and delete this. Notice I didn't actually delete the column itself. I'm going to actually use the tool to delete that. So I'm going to click here, delete column, mouse over it, and it should, yes, it should remove the column. And now we've created this this group within the wall. And notice how I assign the word custom in there, the keyword custom, and then put an underscore. It doesn't have to be an underscore, but I just put that to delineate whatever else I want to say about it. So now I've got this in here, and I can do whatever I like to it. I can move it around. You know, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to, I don't know what we're going to do with it here. Let's see. Basically, I want to shift it over a little bit. I just want to grab the right edge, though, so I don't know. I guess we can just eyeball it first, and then I don't know. We can put it on the king studs, I guess. I would say about 7.5 inches. Let's go 7.5. See where that puts us. Okay, that looks about right. Okay, so now we've got ourselves a strap pull down there, and then it's just a matter of copying them. So we're just going to go like this, hit the control key, and slide over one more, and that looks like 15 inches. Okay, and then maybe a couple more over here perhaps. So let's do that. Hit control again, gives us another copy of it. And I think we wanted to be right about there. So 10 feet, 9 inches. Sorry, this takes a little while. And then let's grab one more. Just hit control and copy, and then 15 inches is where we need to be, right? Okay. Actually, well, no, that's, no, we need one more. We just need to move that over another 1.5 inches. Yep. Okay. And notice how I didn't put this right at the corner of that concrete. I think the installation rules are that you're supposed to be 1.5 inches from any edge of concrete. And I think that's actually a really good rule, because I've seen these spalled out before, and they just create all kinds of messes. So they tend to spall anyways, but if you carefully put them in and work the concrete around them, usually you can get them in there pretty good. So I like what I'm seeing there. So we've got our hold downs, we've got our shear walls, we've got all the hold downs in the back wall in. We've got blocking, everything. I think we're okay with our headers. Overall, I think I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing here. So I'm going to end the first part of this video here, and then I'm going to do part 2 of it where we finish up the rest and add in the electrical and the roof and make any minor final adjustments to this. So, all right, we'll proceed with part 2 after this video. Thank you.